Hello, my name is Aaron. I'm the project director for Alaska. Our team was actually headed to the village of Rampart, and when we got to the river, the door for Rampart closed. There was some weather that prevented us from getting there, and so we actually turned back and we went to Minto. And we spent a few days in Minto, but during that time, we felt like God was opening up our heart to try and pioneer a new village that we hadn't been to before. And so Sam and Rob, the global partners here, the contacts of Last Frontier Ministry, we went in the plane to a town called Manley Hot Springs. It's a village, it's a small town. And what's pretty awesome is God had already prepared the way. When one door shut, another one had been totally open, and we were supposed to go there. When Sam and Rob first got there, there were two Christians that were waiting at the airport. We'd never been to there before, and they were able to find out how to start a VBS. They went to the local bar, and they walked up to the bartender and said, how would we start a VBS? And of course the bartender was looking at him like, you're in a bar here. And he said, I don't really know. If you were going to do something like that, you'd probably need to do it in the school or something. They said, we don't know where the teacher is. You'd have to try and find him. Well, guess who walks in right then and there? The school teacher. There's only two of them in that village, and he happened to be living right next to the school. Well, that was just the first part of it. So they set up a meeting to meet the next day and talk about possibly doing a vacation Bible school. So that's when me and Sam and Rob flew there together. And when we got there, we started to look around for a school teacher named Fargo. And Fargo actually met us on the road. And so instantly we jumped in his car and we were shown the school, and the favor of God was just absolutely amazing. Within 45 minutes we had complete use of a public school for Vacation Bible School. This school had a full kitchen. It had everybody got really quiet, sorry, I'm weirded out by that. So it had a full kitchen, had full bathrooms, showers, everything. And he said, this is yours to use. And there was something really interesting about how much he was pushing. There was something behind it. He was really pushing towards us, and the favor was just so amazing. He also started to get on the phone with all the people that had children in the village, and started to call and start to spread the word. Hey, what do you think about doing a VBS for the next 4 days? And, Sam and Rob and I are kind of like real time sitting there trying to plan out the next 4 days for this trip. And he's sitting there on the phone talking, and he's like, okay, yeah, so they're going to be doing a VBS. When are you guys doing a VBS? And he looks at us, we're like, 4 days. And then he says, so what time? What time are we doing this? And we're looking at him, are we really doing this? Are we really doing this? And so I said, let's just make it for 1:30 tomorrow. And so he got off the phone, he started to spread the word, and then we went over to his house, and one of the ladies that was in the village that had a lot of the children of hers was there. And so we got to spread the word right to her right then and there. And the interesting thing about all of this is that there was these small little logistical challenges and details that, from a leader, you'd probably look at and be like, we can manage, but it is something we have to take care of, such as food. One of the things was when we were in Minto, a lot of the native kids had actually come in and they were snacking on our food, which is fine. We wanted to minister to them, but that had left a shortage for us. And one of the things that Fargo said in particular was kind of like a key for us. It was a goofy little thing, but for us, we're just like, you know what, God, you've got all this totally taken care of. We were missing chips, little bags of chips, which was part of our lunch. It's not really a big deal, but kind of a big deal when you got a bunch of hungry teenagers. And when Fargo was showing us around, he took us through the kitchen and then he took us to the pantry. And he's like, by the way, we've got some extra food here. I want you to eat all of it. Well, right there in front of us, yeah, you guessed it, was just as many bags of chips as we needed, and then some. The exact, not even like just a bag of chips, it was the exact ones that had been taken away and that we were thinking about replacing with. So it was like, that was one thing. And then another thing was, we had used up one of our ministry things, which was s'mores. It sounds goofy, but that was one of the ministries we did. Having campfire and s'mores, and we had left that at the other village. Well, the lady that we met at Fargo's house, when we were talking to her, she's like, oh yeah, it'd be great if you want to like hang out with them. I've got stuff for like s'mores that I can bring over and popcorn. And so it was just one more thing that, is showing us, hey, God's kind of leading this thing. And so that was the start of it. The ending of it, I'll let you hear from Elizabeth. But, what seemed to be a very random journey for us was really a God-ordained, directed trip. We were where we were supposed to be. Even though we started the journey going to somewhere else, he turned us around and we went where we were supposed to be.